How are you all doing? Okay, so this awesome live video is going to be with my friend Chris Kendall. And he is one of these amazing people that work behind the scenes of the Raw Vegan Bundle. And I just want to say hello. And then I'm inviting Chris. He's from the Raw Advantage. You might have seen it. The Dutch Fruit Festival, or saw me last year. Hi herbal teas.
Whoa!
Already know. Hi.
Holy cow, that was quick.
It was quick.
Yeah, it was so quick that it went on. Usually it takes a while to actually get into the live with you, and it's just like, boom, here we are.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I had a mango piece in my hand.
Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Not bad, not bad. How are you doing, Wendy?
I'm doing all right. I'm just popping into our little chalet over here, and I'm amazed with our internet quality. I'm so happy to see you, and I'm very happy to speak with you today, and would love to share your story over what happened over the last month.
Absolutely.
With you, with your skin.
Thank you. Thank you. Where are you, by the way?
Oh, so yeah, okay. I'm in the Netherlands right now.
Oh.
I know.
Can't go away.
So we have 30 minutes of awesome internet, and after we don't know.
Oh gosh, well, maybe we can jam pack this 30 minutes so people are really intrigued and enjoying it, and also just ramped up to check out the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle since it just launched today, right?
Yes, just 4 o'clock our time, it's available. So
very good.
I saw that you're using the Banana Commander again as your name.
That's me.
I saw that you're using the Banana Commander again as your name on the new book.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's my alter ego. I'll always be the Banana Commander, so. And I was contemplating a bunch of different book ideas, and the Banana Commander Big Banana book has been in the kind of ethos for a long period of time, and it finally was just like, you know what? It's time to release my banana book. I mean, I'm the banana man, right? And I love bananas, and I've been developing different banana recipes, and people have mistaken ideas about bananas. I see silly reels about people thinking that bananas are GMO, or that they're unsafe, or that they're fake food, or so I was just like, it's time to dispel those silly myths and to show that they're amazing, economical, ecological, satisfying, delicious, easily accessible food, and give a lot of reasons and recipes for it.
And imagine how many people just almost live on bananas. I don't know how about it is for you, but I have this 10-year-old around. Without bananas, mommy, there's no food.
Yeah.
There is no food, mom. We have to go shopping. Like, what do you mean? I got like grapes, I got strawberries, I got oranges, we got lemons, we got mango. No, there's no banana.
It's after my heart. I do in the book, I say that bananas are like the rice and beans, or the rice and bread, or the rice and potatoes of the raw food movement. And I think that's true.
They are.
And there's a reason why it's the most eaten fruit in the world as well, so. They're delicious.
So I'm happy to join you. I had to force myself to eat bananas a while back.
Oh, no.
Last year, January, I said to myself, this year's going to be the year. You're going to eat bananas now. I avoided them for 6 years. Like, I ate one, and then another one, and then some nice cream.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you a while, and I know some other awesome friends of ours. Like, I had Grant Campbell come over, and there's like 20 of the bananas on the plate for breakfast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, enjoy.
I tell you,
mango, by the way.
I'll admit, it's not my favorite fruit. Like, bananas isn't my favorite fruit taste-wise, but it's available year-round. It's super cheap per pound. It's super satisfying. It makes one of the easiest smoothies in the entire world, and they're super nutritious. So, like, if I could get top quality mangoes, or top quality durian, or top quality cherimoya as often for the same price, I'd probably eat more of those than bananas. But at the same time, I don't know. There's something magically satisfying about a banana meal. Like the Cavendish banana, I rarely just eat like a whole meal, like peeling them and eat them. I usually make those into smoothies.
Yeah. Well,
Apple
that's where I
bananas,
come in this time, huh?
yeah, it's way easier. You know, apple bananas though, I'll never make a smoothie out of them. And almost the same thing with the red banana. I only want to eat them this way. But I mean, they are just one of the most easily accessible, inexpensive, year-round fruits that really satisfy you. You know, so that's why I think they're a staple for so many people. Not necessarily because they're the absolute best favorite flavor, but if I go a week without a banana smoothie, I tell you, when I'm eating that banana smoothie, I'm really happy.
I get you. I get you. I just made 25 different smoothies, I suppose. So,
Yeah,
ooh,
your
okay.
smoothie bowls are amazing. I got the
So,
banana mustache going on.
so I want to, well, I know where you are in Europe, but
Yeah,
I want to ask you about, yeah, you moved,
yep.
right, from Canada to where in Europe, and how do you
So
find it?
I'm in Malmo, Sweden, and this will be, if I if I recall right, actually, yeah, this will be my. I've been here 3 full years, and the end of this year will be 4 years, which is when I'm going to apply for permanent residency and hopefully get it. But I'm a temporary resident in Sweden, and it's Malmo is the city where I'm in, which is just across a very long bridge to Copenhagen, Denmark. And it's beautiful. You know, it's near the bottom of Sweden, so it's not quite as cold as some of the higher up places. It's more like Vancouver weather for people from Canada. That, you know, I'm from Canada,
Yep.
and it rarely snows. You know, when it does down here, it usually doesn't stick more than a day or two. And you know, the winters for me are very mild, and the summers are mild too, which actually for me is perfect. It's like the
Yeah.
usual temperature is like between like -5 at the worst and +25, which I love that window. Like +15 to 25 is my perfect window.
So now we're basically at the same weather because I moved from Spain back to the Netherlands,
Hmm.
which has the same weather.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people around here can agree that everything's
Yeah.
mild. And sometimes we like some change, but everything's usually mild. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I saw you just like over more like the last year and a half, like almost being permanently in Sweden. So that was
Yeah.
interesting for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of the reason for that though, Wendy, is just because, you know, with my residency process, I'm only allowed 6 weeks travel per calendar year, and 6 weeks gets eaten up quick. Like I know a lot of people, they might only travel 6 weeks of the year, but I'm used to traveling 4 to 6 months of the year, you know, so 6 weeks, you know, between family, my own personal travel, festivals, retreats, you know, and like it's gone, like boom. So I only have 3 weeks travel left for the rest of this year even. And so, I mean, I stick it here most of the
Yeah.
time.
I totally understand where you're coming from. It's similar for our family, and yeah, we tend to travel a lot to visit some other festivals as
Yeah.
well. So I'll hope that I'll be able to join one of your retreats or events that you're doing in Sweden. Now I'm in the Netherlands. It's
A
only
lot
half a
closer.
day driving. I mean, like we're just like 5 hours apart or something. Like it's not that far. But yeah, now I got this little teeny tiny 10, no, 11-day old baby. So, you
Oh,
know, it's just.
triple congratulations, by the way. That's so
Oh,
awesome.
thank you. You want to show her off? It'll be on internet. Huh?
Yeah, that's hello. Oh, hello. Look a little bit tired. Nice bunny rabbit shirt.
It's Miffy. It's Miffy. It's
Oh,
Nijntje. We say Nijntje.
what a cutie.
Yeah. So but we will talk a little bit about the birthing and everything on your channel, right? So
Yes. Yes.
because I saw this. Well, I tried to do my best to support you over the last few months
Oh,
because you told me that you had some skin issue going on and it
yes.
was quite worrisome. Can
Yeah.
you tell me a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I will go back a little bit, and I won't go too deep in depth with that. But I'm a fair-skinned guy, you know, like I've always burned really, really easily. In fact, before I was 10, I would get blisters. My parents would take us to Hawaii, or sorry, to Mexico every year, and I would easily get sunburns and blisters. And the doctor, when I was like 8 or 9, he actually said that I was allergic to the sun, which I know is complete crap. But I definitely am like one of those translucent beings that is very easily burnt and almost never get a nice brown tan. I just get like a burn and then a red kind of tinge, you know? And I haven't been mindful of it, like I obviously don't enjoy being burnt, but when the summer comes or when I travel to the tropics, yeah, I can tell you honestly, I've probably been to the tropics with my family maybe 15, 20 times, and then on my own 15, 20 times, and probably more than 20 actually. Yeah, and every single time except for this last year I was mindful enough not to burn. But before that, every single time I burnt myself enough that like I was really tender and pink and hurt.
Oh yeah.
um and I've burnt myself also so badly that I literally couldn't even put clothes on for 2 or 3 weeks, and I had to stay in the house for over a month, and my ankle swelled up to this, and like I should have went to a hospital. I was peeling off sheets of skin for months.
Oh.
So like I've damaged my skin, and in the last 10, 15, 12 years, I've surfed a lot more. And a lot of times when you're surfing, you forget about everything because the waves are nice and cool, and you're just thinking and you're going. And there's been times where I've been out midday for 4 or 5 hours straight surfing with the sun on one side of my face, just like bashing it, and I've burnt my hands too. Actually, if you, I don't know if you can really see, but my hands look kind of old. Like compared to a lot of people, my hands look actually like workers' hands because I've burnt them so bad surfing. And I progressively noticed that my hands were getting kind of gross because I've just burnt them. And I did use like zinc-based sunscreens, but sometimes again, when you're in the water for 4 hours, it washes off and you forget to go back
Mm-hmm.
in. And the
Mm-hmm.
same with the face. I try and wear a surf hat, but it's not always perfect, and sometimes I forget. And then my life of skateboarding and previous burns and blah blah blah. But anyways, long story short, I have a history of really burning myself, and a few years ago, I started getting a couple different spots on my face where it was like a crusty spot that would just show up, and I'd want to scratch it off. And if I did, it would just grow right back. And if I didn't scratch it off, it would just eventually grow thicker and then fall off. And I went and saw a dermatologist, which I have never really wanted to do. And in the past, I completely thought they were complete bogus, which I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they do know some of their stuff. And, I went there and they checked it out. They're like, we have to do a little biopsy. So they did a little cut, and they found that it was a basal cell carcinoma that is non-lethal, but it's one of the most common forms of skin cancer. It's non-spreading, but it does get bigger in that spot. And if it's not dealt with, it can actually get through the skin layers and even into the bone. And, I've met people and also been talked to some people who have neglected it, and it's gotten really big to the point where it becomes disfiguring. And so at that time, the best option I saw was doing a surgery. That's what they recommended. And so you can actually see a little scar there where they cut it out. And afterwards, I'm not super happy with that scar. Like if it was across my eye, like Scar from Lion King, maybe that'd be cooler. But this one, it is what it is. But when I started to have a couple others here and here and here and one down here, I didn't want to
Sounds
start having,
scary.
yeah, I didn't want to have scars all over the place. So I did a bunch of research, and I looked up a whole bunch of different methods, and I looked at testimonials from a lot of different people. And I talked to a lot of people that I really trust, like Dr. Graham and the Dinas a little bit, and some other people. And the recommendation I was given was to use a chemotherapy cream, which I mean, obviously, I'm not big on chemotherapy in
Yeah.
general, but the use case of it, the success rate of it, and the side effects of it, it seemed to me like the absolute best option. The one negative, and I mean, this was that it was basically a month of hell, and it's been 2 months, and it's still, I mean, I don't feel like my skin is completely healed from it, but I can see that the spots that were starting to become problem areas have
Mm-hmm.
dissipated and are now normalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go into exactly what the cream does and the experience through that, but that's basically what led me up to just being like, you know what, I'm going to do this in the winter, because during that process where you use this cream, it makes your skin even more photosensitive. So you can't be in the sun, otherwise it burns your skin. And even the months after, like right now, I still got to be a little bit wary. And I got a really good quality sunscreen that I am using for now, but until the summer comes, and I'm going to slowly build up my tolerance. But if I'm going to be outside like surfing or skateboarding all day, I'm wearing a hat, I'm covering up, or I'm putting on a quality natural sunscreen, because I know now that burning does accumulate and even though I've been a raw foodist for 20 years, I still develop these. It doesn't make you completely impervious, especially if you're fair skinned like me. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like in a bit of a nutshell. Sorry to just it all out at once, but
Yeah. Yeah. And that sounds, so you were using this special chemo cream, right?
yeah, yeah. It's called
And
Evidence.
actually, I have a friend who went through this process as well, like not recently. And then my dad actually was telling having spots like that, and he got one
Mhm.
like sort of frozen off or something,
Yeah.
and then he has to come back because the cells were not good, and he's got like this big hole now here. So
Oh
and I
man.
saw your photos as well, and I know it's not a pleasure to go through. It's like a scrape peel, like it scrapes your whole skin off,
It
right? And then has
yeah,
to grow back. That's how it
basically
looks like.
what it does, it's really weird. Like the first 2 weeks weren't bad, and then it progressively got worse until near I used the cream for almost a month. And after I stopped using the cream, it was actually for about a week and a half, 2 weeks after stopping that it got the worst. And basically what it does, it's really interesting, like what it does is it stops the skin cells from being able to absorb and utilize a specific amino acid that is required for cell production. And the cancer cells, they reproduce way faster than the regular cells, skin cells. So the cancer cells die off because they can't utilize that specific amino acid they need for reproduction. So if you use it long enough, slowly the cancer cells, they die off completely. And the other skin cells, they're not stoked. I mean, the rest of my face wasn't stoked, but it doesn't
Mm,
die off. Your whole face doesn't fall off. But you start getting little spots that were precancerous spots that some you could see because they got big enough, and then some, like I got a lot of different dots all over that would have eventually became carcinomas. But because I did this and had that hell for basically a month and a half, I'm pretty confident that I may need to do it sometime in the future. But I've delayed bigger ones and smaller ones from getting a lot worse in the present time that could have ended up requiring surgery. So it was a definite trying process. I'm very happy I did it in the winter during a time where I was doing a lot of computer work and not really going out a ton anyway. But it was really painful. It was like sunburn times three. And then when it started to heal, the whole face felt like a mask, and I felt like I couldn't like smile or laugh because it just felt like
mm,
if I did, my whole face would crack and bleed. And I did bleed from some spots, and some white kind of pus came out of the kind of cancery spots and around the nose and stuff like that. Um, but I am really happy again with the results thus far, although I expect my skin to get clearer because I've seen from testimonials, people are like, does your skin ever get totally normal, or you always have red spots? And it can take 2, 3, 4, 5 months for the skin totally to get normal.
yeah.
But most people experience clearer, smoother, younger looking skin afterwards because it basically forces the skin to regenerate. So
It sounds like it's like a real heavy ordeal to go through. And like, I think it's so yeah, so special for you to actually also share the process online, because lots of this stuff is hidden, right?
oh,
But
for
it's
sure.
just not, I mean, it's not a pleasure, but at least you know what you can do about it. And it makes people feel not so alone, and know that if they need to do something, like, oh my god, look what happened, okay, I know what I'm up to. So thank you for sharing your story with that.
It's my
And
pleasure. I was almost not going to share just because it's embarrassed, and also I also felt like I would be judged because there are people in the raw food and natural health community that think that you should never see a doctor, and there's never a case where any medication is good and everything must be natural. And I did get attacked by a few people privately, and a few people made some comments and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I think it's really important and balanced to recognize that everything can have its time and place. It isn't black and white, and there are kind of like the risk reward ratios, and at the end of the day, it's like we got to just make our choices and live with them. And I feel blessed that I was helped by a bunch of people who had experience because I was talking to the Dinas, and they were saying they knew some people who were raw foodists that didn't, they had those same kind of things and they did nothing and they ended up becoming disfiguring. And, other people, like, same thing with, say, teeth, like they'll never see a dentist, or other people with the doctor, like I would never go to the doctor. And then they end up having, some major issue, or I know somebody who died from cancer because they didn't go to the doctor, and it's freaking crazy, right? So,
Yeah.
I hoped through sharing it that it would open people's eyes a little bit just to the reality that you aren't invulnerable as a raw foodist. And, in emergency situations, doctors can be helpful, and at least you can weigh out options. And it's good to have an open mind to different
Yeah.
options for different realities.
Yep. Well, they did learn something good over those 6 years, like it's not like and I think it's very valuable, and we need them as well, and they have a very
Absolutely.
good profession. It's just like, don't go running there every time you have a fever or sneezing, because that's
Exactly.
like, but you got to be smart too. So there's a lot of people sending us wonderful messages.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Michelle.
yeah. And I see a lot of friends. So
Such
I
a
know there's
pleasure.
one person, like watermelon or lime,
Oh,
asking
hey,
me,
yeah.
like, do you expect side effects from the medicine you use, like other side effects?
No, actually, and that was one of the reasons I felt pretty safe with it, was there was basically no known long-term side effects beyond very rare cases where you may get some scarring, but it's pretty rare with those. So I don't expect any side effects. If anything, maybe being a little bit more sensitive to the sun for a period of time, but hopefully not forever. I didn't see any side effects listed as long-term, sensitivity to the sun. But yeah, it was very, very, very minimal and rare to have any long-lasting side effects from it. And any other kind of route that I could have taken seemed to have other risks of side effects or scarring. So
Right,
I
right.
wanted to keep myself pretty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I saw like it's a couple of years back, but I saw like uh, a whole series, like how to heal cancer. It's like
Yeah,
hours, it was 7 hours of video. I
yeah,
watched that, and there were a lot of natural remedies
yeah,
mentioned to also slow down this growing process. And I must say, like, I have a spot on my back, so I've been trying to use those things. I mean,
yeah,
it's not a problem right now, but they say to keep watching it for a couple of years, and
yeah.
it's sort of like growing a lot now. So I will have to go see a dermatologist as well, because I'm using like the frankincense oil, for
Yep,
example.
I've
I
heard about
don't
that
know.
too.
I'm not seeing that thing shrinking. Well, it
Yeah,
seems to be growing out now,
yeah,
but like, I want to be smart. I rather go to dermatologists like you did, and I
yeah.
encourage other people as well. Like, if there's something that could possibly, disfigure your face or be life threatening, like, please go see the doctor. We're not
Yeah, yeah.
saints,
Obviously, like
here.
it,
The
it depends what
food
stage
is
you're
love,
at
but
and
not
what's
everything.
going on in your life, right? Like like I've heard frankincense oil. I've also heard like a CBD kind of marijuana based oil. I mean, that can be really expensive too, and kind of hard to get. It's super illegal here in Sweden. Or also black salve, I've heard of as well. But with some of those, I've heard like horror stories, and others I've heard somewhat effective and some not effective at all.
Yep.
And I was just like, with this case, I was just like, this is shown to be over 90% effective with minimal to no side effects. It's just a horrible process to go through. But yeah, exactly like you said, I think it's good to have an open mind to weigh out things and not make things black and white. And I hope that video does help other people to release any kind of fears, or at least have a bit more of an open mind around these kind of topics. And because I did in my video, I had people commenting like, the sun can never hurt you. You must have eaten something bad, or like, it's
uh,
like, come on, man.
yeah, if you burn so bad, like, I don't really burn. Like,
Yeah.
I think I burned 4 times in my whole life.
Wow.
And
Wow, that's
actually,
awesome.
I went windsurfing. That was one of the times I really burned
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I look quite white, but I got also this yellowish thing going on that people think you have a liver disease, but I think it's my skin tone,
Yeah.
because I go on outside and my family has it as well.
Yeah.
I can just, in spring, I can just go sit in the sun for 4 hours. I don't burn.
Yeah. So
So, not that it
nice.
would be good that I recommend anybody to go outside and sit in the sun for 4 hours, but in case it happens, I'm not burning.
I'll admit I'm a little jealous because, like I said, when I was younger, I'd burn like super easy. And when I went raw, definitely it helped. Like I didn't burn as easily, and I'd recover from it much faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, like, on the first day of spring, if I go out and I haven't got any base, if I take more than a half an hour in full sun, like on a nice day, I'll for sure burn. And like I hang out with my friend Michelle, who is listening. I don't know if he's here anymore, but he's a little bit darker skin tone. and he wants to be outside all the time, and he can just sit in the sun and turn brown. Whereas like I really got to watch. Like I don't really want to be outside too often at midday unless I'm covered, and
Yeah,
I don't really like wearing hats, you know. So like
yeah.
I can build a
You really like
tan. It
want
helps.
to even got this very Irish orange thing in the blonde going on, so your
Yeah.
skin be, yeah, possibly like that. So I got the little baby here, so if you hear something, it's because I'm alone now and everybody left, so I got the little baby on me.
Aw.
You hear her. You hear her.
Well, you're
So
not alone. You're with her, and you're with me,
yeah,
and we're with everyone
with
here.
everybody online, but I mean like nobody to hold the baby except
Yeah.
me.
I'm
She's a
just being
little
a silly
humpy.
man.
So let's see. Well, there were lots of nice
Oh.
comments, like good food, good feeling. Raw. She's
Oh.
always commenting nice
Well, just for
things.
the new people, if there's anyone here, hey, watermelon.
Yeah,
We're both a part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, which just launched today, like 2 hours ago. And I'm assuming you have the link in your bio, so anyone can grab the bundle in Wendy's link in her bio or mine, whichever you like. But there's like 33 books worth over $800 for just $50 right now. And it's a pretty ridiculous deal, huh?
yeah. I'm really happy to join it as well. I'm really happy that you do all the background work and you know, like emailing me back. I have another question. And it's very appreciated like that you and Melissa has put so much work inside. So for everybody watching it now and later, I think it's really a blessing to be part of a group where we all make something really new and a passion that we share and that we can share with you all, and do it in a way that it is affordable for everybody. That, like maybe you buy normally 3 books for the price, you get a lot of
Yeah.
them. And well, but the first time when I bought it, I was like, oh wow, this is amazing, I love it. And maybe you don't read all of them, but you have a really good library for everybody missing some recipes or interesting ideas. So
I
hello
totally.
from Iceland. Hi Lane Marie. Hi, nice to see you. And we got Wendy as well here. Says we're going on raw food for neurogenic education. I don't know what that is, but it sounds not very happy actually.
No.
I don't. I'm not that well in the diagnosis till now. Well, Chris, your face looks amazing again, and
Well,
it looks like you heal fast. And I'm like your body has gone through some things with the motorcycle and the skating, and now
I,
it seems like wow, your body is like recovering so fast. It looks wonderful.
all the vitamin A and the good EFAs and all the good stuff in these mangoes. I mean, truthfully, when that's really why I came into raw food was to heal fast. You know, because of skateboarding. I've been skateboarding since I was 5, and I've beaten the crap out of my body. Like I'm sure if I wasn't on a raw food diet, I would probably be on a junk food diet, smoking and drinking, and I would be overweight and depressed or dead. Like I'm not even kidding. I'm an addictive personality person, and that kind of helped me with raw food because I got addicted to wellness and got addicted to eating good and got addicted to recognizing how I felt when different foods were in my body, just becoming more aware, you know. And I do notice, I mean, like you said, I mean, I've fractured my back, I've broken my shin, I've broken my wrist 3 times, I've cracked ribs. I was in a motorcycle accident, almost died. And, through all of that, my PTs, my doctors, they say that I typically heal in about 2/3 the time of the average person, you know, so like I heal very well,
Yeah.
I heal very quick. I can put on the muscles, you know, as a banana man, you know.
Yeah,
So
I see the photos. We're seeing the photos.
yeah,
Like I say, why would you do that? And I'm a
dude,
woman, so I'm a little bit different from that. But
yeah,
why would you do that? And I say to them, because everybody says it's not possible to build a nice body just eating
yeah,
fruits and
yeah.
vegetables. But it is.
Yeah.
So it's not to be like the biggest ego on the planet. It's
Oh,
just to see like, look,
no,
I
it
don't.
is. It's all about the I'm a Leo, you know, like I have to fluff my ego as much as I possibly can. So I get in front of the camera and squeeze these little jugs here, you know, and just do my best to fluff that ego.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling. I think you're feeling better, and I think your face looks great. So that
Oh,
would be absolutely amazing. And yeah, I can share your healing story when I fell and I had these stitches here. In 3 days they came off, and I was like making photos and videos every day. And I went back to get them out on day 4, and they said they're not there anymore. I said no, they fell out, but it's closed. I'm like, yeah. What did you do? I drank some juice and some water. I think I had like 3 mangoes in the last few days. I thought, let's speed up the healing a little bit. And yeah, I mean, like, I would really notice the difference.
yeah.
Look, for 4-day-old baby, who's dealing with all the food and the things in the kitchen and the baby? Oh, me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's 4 days. I'm like, I don't know. I feel good.
It's so amazing, you know, and that's just something that reaffirms it to me, you know, meeting other young parents or mothers or, you know, other people from different sports, you know, long distance runners, sprinters, you know, whatever it may be, and hearing the same thing, you know, just like rebounding back, like, you know, mothers, like people saying like, you had a baby like a couple weeks ago, are you freaking kidding me? You know, like it's you know,
Yeah,
and
like,
like
it's that 10 days. When I can get you back to gymnastics?
yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
And a lot of people instead they would, you know, never get back. And there's, I'm not saying shame or anything like that, you know, but it is amazing how fast the body can transform and come back to balance and homeostasis when you're giving it what it requires, you know, and when you're not. Also, I think a big thing about this raw food lifestyle too is it really helps you to get much more in tune with your emotions and when you're eating for nourishment and when you're eating for satisfaction or you know, numbing or whatever, you know, and it makes it a lot easier just to maintain a healthful body weight and to feel good and want to move, you know, so
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
win-win-win-win.
Yeah, totally. So did you just pops up? Did you notice also differences with the skin and the burning when you change what you eat? Because I did, and I wonder if
Huge,
you have the same experience.
huge. Absolutely. No, like I used to get burnt way easier and it would take longer to heal. And nowadays, like if I burn myself just a little bit, like I get pink and it's a little bit tender, the next day I'm often fine, you know? Whereas before it'd take multiple days and I'd be burnt worse, you know? So I definitely noticed that, but I've also just, even still with it being better, I've been silly and just put myself in places and situations where I went way past where it was comfortable and, you know, hiding in the shade for days at a time and, you
Oh,
know, applying coconut oil and stuff like that. So
did the
I wish
coconut oil work?
it at least makes it feel a little better. And I mean, it's hard. I haven't really done like I kind of maybe next time if I do burn, I'm trying to make it so that I don't burn again, at least not bad. But maybe sometime if I do burn myself, I'll do half of my body with coconut oil and the other half not, and just see if there's any difference. You know, like try and get a line down my face. You know,
Yeah,
but
they say it adds a factor 4 or 5, the coconut oil. So I did
oh
try it out.
yes, no,
I don't know if it worked.
I do
I
think for
I
that,
I, I noticed that when you eat like dark grapes and stuff like
yeah,
that, it would be easier to resist the sun than just the bananas, to be honest, or like other kind of fruits.
yeah. I actually
And
have some good tips that way too.
sorry again.
I actually have some cool tips with that actually
Yeah,
too, because
go ahead.
you know, do. The coconut oil, I thought you had first actually meant using it after, because you know, if I do burn, then I sometimes put the coconut oil on after, and I find that does kind of soothe and help. But it is also, just like you said, yeah, I've heard anywhere from like a 4 to 7 SPF from the coconut oil. And you can make it a stronger SPF by adding either carrot seed oil or raspberry seed oil or both. Or I mean, you also could get like a zinc oxide, you know, but the carrot seed and the raspberry seed, they're a 40 SPF. They're kind of expensive, but you know, you can mix a little bit into the coconut oil and make stronger than 7, you know, make it a 10 or a 15 if you want.
Hmm.
Um, but
So
interestingly,
raspberry seed oil,
yeah,
right?
raspberry seed oil and carrot seed oil. And
Yeah. I actually
the
heard
other,
about that as well when my other son was little, because I didn't want to put chemicals on him. So I
yeah,
put ras but I had squished raspberry seeds, so he was kind of like you know,
Kind of
got
red. Made them look burnt anyway.
he got like the seeds are little black points, like grinded. So
Oh
like,
no.
what's this? What's he's got sand on his face? I'm like, no, that's actually the seed. That's
Oh
actually
no.
the seeds.
Oh no.
But this
Yeah,
is just a funny side note. But I just wonder if you're having that experiences as well.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
probably for most people, probably easier just to purchase the raspberry seed oil
yeah,
because it is pretty intensive to get the oil out of the seeds unless you have like a grinder and you know how to process them and stuff like that. But
yeah. No, this was a bought product, or I
oh,
didn't try
okay.
it myself, but it was a bought product, and it had still
Oh,
pieces of the
oh.
seeds inside.
I thought you were just trying to mash like whole raspberries on his face, just like just rub them.
I could do that, but then
Yeah.
it'll go like.
Yeah. Mom, you're missing me. You're missing me.
And how about this zinc oxide?
Yeah, that's one of the main ingredients from natural sunscreens, and it basically
Yeah,
just reflects the sun. But the thing about it is, it's typically very white. So, like when I surfed, sometimes I got some
yeah,
that was somewhat skin color, and I also got some that was kind of white, and I'd look like Data from Star Trek because my face would just look
yeah.
totally pale.
So we got
But
this stuff here.
yeah.
It says Veleda nappy change cream.
Mhm.
That, and that's the zinc. So they told me to put it on her
Yeah.
face, but then you get that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it usually doesn't go all the way in, and if you rub it until you don't see it, then it's not as effective, but it still creates some barrier. But it is actually really creating like a physical barrier that reflects the sun or the UV. And
so
I mean, it's often used by surfers or skiers or people like that. They're out because, if you're going to be out there for hours, you want something that totally blocks. And if you take it on, it totally blocks and it stays on pretty well. So like in my later years surfing, I was often, yeah, like just completely coating it on my face like this and putting all over. But even
yeah.
still,
So you
some
would
would wear off.
recommend that? Like you would recommend this zinc oxide to people that are going to ski in May, which
I
they
mean,
do.
I guess it kind of depends on the person, the situation, how long they're out there, like, and if they're prone to burning, if you're up on a mountain, you're thinner atmosphere and apparently higher UV, so you're at higher risk.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're really prone to burning, I think I think that I think this kind of summarizes a little bit of my view. I prefer not to use anything, but I'd prefer to use something rather than burn. So if I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to burn, I'm either going to be prepared and try to wear a hat or do something to make sure I'm not going to burn. But if I know that I'm just going to be in that sunlight and it's going to be hot, then I'd rather use a quality sunscreen, whether that's something with zinc oxide that is masking. I'd probably be more likely to use that if I was doing something like surfing, where I'm just out and I'm going to be out there for 4 hours. But if instead I'm going skateboarding and I'm out and about, or I'm just walking and it's like really blazing, or say maybe the first week or two going to the tropics, I just might use a quality regular sunscreen and otherwise try not to be out during those hottest times and wear a hat, because even the best quality ones, you can get good quality ones that I don't think there's anything really to fear from the ingredients.
Right.
But there are other kind of mid-grade ones where, I wouldn't want to have them on my skin every day. I'm not at the point, like some dermatologists would say, like, you should every single day, even if you don't go outside, still use sunscreen. I think that's a little overboard myself. I'm not a
Yeah.
dermatologist. I have some skepticism there, but
We like
that's
vitamin
right.
D as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely like vitamin D as well. So like, and I guess it does to some degree depend on where you live and again your skin tone, all those things, right? I think that sun exposure is incredibly helpful. But I think that overdoing it, just like overdoing anything and burning repetitively, I've had poor results with it,
Yeah,
So
exactly. Your situation would be an example for everybody who's light.
yeah,
They better put something on than burn and regret, because what you just went through, I would not
no,
wish that to anybody.
it was
And
it was
yeah,
it was pretty hard physically, but it was actually also like emotionally, and even just like physically in other ways. Just like being tired and like, it was really tough. Like it actually kind of shook me a little bit, I bounced back a bit, but it was pretty tough. I had a hard time.
Well, I'm glad you made it through. You got all the support from over here. So yeah.
Appreciate that.
And I see somebody saying no sunscreen, raw vegans don't burn. Oh yes, we do.
Yeah, exactly. If it was only that way, I wish, I wish that raw vegans didn't burn. I wish that, we couldn't hurt ourselves, and I wish that we always recovered from absolutely everything, but I still have some old injuries that aren't 100%, but they're healing way better than they would if I wasn't doing it this way, right? But I did want to mention one thing that I thought was really neat too. I have a friend that I'm totally blowing on his name right now. I haven't seen him for about like 7 years. But anyhow, he's a redhead and he'd burn really easy. Like he was paler than me and would really burn super, super easy. And he said his trick that he swears by is that he drinks a quart, or I don't know if it's a quart, I think a liter of carrot juice before going out in the sun. And he swears, I mean, it kind of makes sense with, the vitamin A content, and then also to the hydration and the polyphenols, and also the fact too that the carrot seed oil, it's natural anti sunscreen anyway too. So, but he swore, he's like, if I drink like a liter of carrot juice before I go out in the sun, I almost never burn, So I haven't tested that myself, and I don't actually have a juicer. I mean, I could use my nut milk bag and my blender, but it's kind of a neat thing. So if anyone out there is prone to burning and they're going to be going out in the sun, that might be an extra kind of layer of help, if they want to just from the inside out create that sunscreen.
Yep, that's a good tip. So carrot juice or carrots. Yep, I would say give it a try. Like I did that, like beetroot juice, black grapes, blueberries, blackberries, blackcurrants, and carrots.
Yeah.
And I I love juices. I just love them. I just love the taste. I love it's easy. So yeah, I did try that out. And then when it's really bad, we can do like a sunscreen with zinc oxide. And somebody made a funny joke about it being nappy cream, but this Weleda baby stuff.
Yeah.
They have, I think, 10, 12 products, and if you read the ingredients, they're like 99% the same.
Yeah.
And it's just like water and sweet almond oil and sesame oil, seed oil, and zinc oxide, and this one has beeswax, so it's not vegan, and calendula and chamomile, and then it's got the limonene oil just to as a preservative, which is all natural, and it's got geranio, which isn't really like we've got a flower called geranium, and it's oil from the flower, also as preservatives and for a nice taste. So it's like 100% natural, and I'm sure that there is they have this really nice sunscreen as well.
Yeah.
But
if you could make it yourself or get natural ones, I mean that's awesome. Like there's so many different ones. Like when I've been in the tropics, especially the last 5-6 years, I've looked at a whole bunch of different types of more natural ones. And some of them are a little more effective. Some of them wash off in the water a little easier. Some of them are really, they change your skin tone. Like I saw some with cacao butter and jojoba oil or jojoba butter, and sometimes some coconut and and like
this jojoba oil and cacao butter.
Yeah, actually, I have one over in my other room. It's the last one I used for surfing, and it was kind of a slight brown tone. I think it maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if it was brown because of the cacao oil or butter, or if there was like a bit of coffee extract, but it smells like mocha. Like it smells really nice. But it, instead of looking totally white, I actually look a little bit more tan than I am. And
maybe that's a little bit better than the white.
Yeah, I prefer that. The only time actually I prefer the white is I have a rash guard for surfing that is an actual Data from Star Trek The Next Generation, and he's an android that is white. So when I wear it, I tie my hair back and I look like Data, and I feel pretty cool. And most people think I'm a loser, but I don't care.
I know, we think you're attractive.
Yeah. Star Trek for life.
But that's only for us people who love Star Trek. So that's only
yes. The people that don't love Star Trek just don't know yet. They just haven't looked into it yet.
Yeah. They haven't grown up with it,
No.
so that's maybe the case. So. All right, that's wonderful. Is there anything else that you would really love to share about this topic, or anything else?
Oh, geez, Louise. No, I think we covered a lot of ground here. I think it's just, the kind of thing I want to reiterate is that, the raw food diet is absolutely amazing. It helps like in every conceivable way that I can find. Like I honestly can't find any negatives. The one negative that some people might think is like social. But actually I see it as a positive because it asks you to grow and become more comfortable with yourself and be a shining light and beacon to other people. So I think that's a really beautiful thing, actually. But it also that it doesn't make us invulnerable, and that even though like I'm a holistic nutritionist and I prefer natural living, but at the same time, I would literally be dead, like for sure, if I didn't trust doctors and some medical interventions, and I would likely be looking at more scars on my face or maybe a less effective treatment if I didn't consider using that Epidex cream. I can't say for sure, but just again that I think that living a healthful, natural life doesn't necessarily mean that we have to make life black and white and completely at all costs stay away from doctors and just label them all as like, uh, you know, people that are trying to take advantage of us or kill us or this or that, which I've seen some people, talk like that, like they will never go to a doctor and they would never listen to what they say. And yeah, I'm not going to go to a
Yeah.
doctor for health advice. My doctor actually now asks me about health advice because he's seen my blood work and he's amazed by my results. But at the same time, they do have a lot of education, and there are certain things that they can help with, right? So I think that'd just be kind of my main kind of takeaway from this that I'd hope to impress upon others. Have an open mind and
Thank
open
you.
heart, and learn from other people and learn from as many people as you can, right? From genuine experience, not just kind of thoughts about stuff.
Yeah, well, you are a shiny light beacon, so for many, and that's really appreciated as well. So and the more you shine your light and everybody watching, the more you feel comfortable with who you are and what you're doing, and you don't feel the need to say black and white to food or doctors or whatever topic is triggering you. So
Absolutely.
that yeah, but so that's really, I really like that you are really representing that, and then I love talking with you to listen to your personal story
Oh,
and share it with other people, because I feel when you share that, it would really help others as well. So thanks for doing what you do and being there and showing up. And
reciprocated, Wendy. Absolutely. And I love conversations with you too because it always perks different things and going back and forth with our experiences. I think it can help a lot of people. And you're talking about triggers, and that's been an amazing kind of journey for me within raw food as well, and just in life. Like paying attention to things that trigger you and make you want to twitch. And like, why is that? Like, what is there? Is there something we can let go of? Is there, because usually people don't react unless they don't have complete stability. They're not standing on solid ground with confidence, and they feel like they need to prove something, right? So it's like I think the more we can see these things within ourselves and open ourselves up to what is alive in us, the more we're going to grow and become more comfortable, as you said, with ourselves and shine even brighter. So that was just a little thing that popped up from what you were saying.
yeah. Thanks for shining. So I think I have to wrap up a little bit around here because the little girl is really wanting some attention, and
Yeah,
it's been really good speaking with you and
you too.
receiving your story. So I just want to say to everybody else, thank you also for coming here and watching. And please go check out this bundle that we're part of if you feel like you want to know all about bananas and smoothies, or yoga, because I saw Yulia joining
Hmm.
our conversation here as well.
Hmm.
And there is amazing new content that I'm very happy to be part of. I'm very happy to read from all the contributors, so I hope you guys are too, and just go check it out. And yeah, you can sponsor for my link or Chris link or anybody else that you feel
Yeah.
you want to sponsor them.
Absolutely, yeah. Show support to those that have inspired you the most or you feel really connected to, and everyone appreciates it, and we all come together because we want to spread this message and we want to help each other and we want to grow this movement. So we always appreciate the support, but we're pouring our hearts and souls into this to make it really valuable. And I'd be incredibly surprised if anyone who got it wasn't like blown away by the value. It's ridiculous. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. And Chris, you go later online with Melissa, right?
Yes,
I don't think
going
I have
live.
anyone else today.
I'm going live with Lissa at in 1 hour and 8 minutes from now, and I think I have 25 lives over the next 12 days, so I got a lot, but there's the live schedule on the top of the website. So even if you're not going to get the bundle, I recommend you guys go to the site, check out the live link in the top right, and then you can look through and see all the different topics and see if there are things you want to learn about, because it's a little different than just a standard video. You can actually interact and ask questions and connect, right? So it's a lot of fun, and it feels like a little mini festival. So that's one of my favorite things about the bundle as well. So
yeah, and if I saw some comments going so fast, so if we missed it, you can always write your question under any of the posts or PM, and then we'll be happy to come back on that as well. And
absolutely.
I will be back tomorrow at the same time speaking with Matt Bennett.
Ooh, nice.
And we're going to talk about kids books and stuff, so that will be really cool. And Darlene Jordan, who made a really awesome book about postpartum recovery, which is of course also in my league of just having a baby, so that would be my contribution after. Okay.
And we'll be live again too on the 8th at 11 a.m. PST on my channel. We'll be talking about energy work and being of service as a new mom. So that's going to be fun too.
Yeah, so that'll be 8 o'clock European Standard European time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, see you then.
Yeah, sounds good. Much love, Wendy. Thanks so much for having me on. See you guys.
Welcome.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.